Okay. Hi there, guys. Can I see you guys? I can see you. Can you see me? Well, don't be looking at me. Look at the screen, okay? So this is how we're going to add audio to our performance. In other words, adding audio to your style, or better still, to your launch pad, right? So pretty much what I have here is, let's start from the beginning, all right? So I have this audio from the original artist.
Never got a chance to ride or come. I know this rodeo's been hard.
And I have brought that audio into my DAW right here. I'm using Adobe Audition, for those of you who are wondering. It's right there.
She wondered what was wrong this time.
Now, what is very important, let me bring the camera closer so we can all be on the same page, right? What's very critical here is that you are trying to cut or prepare the audio file to be able to use it in anything, in your sampler, in this case in your keyboard. And what's important is to get the tempo of the file and to get start and end points. So for this demonstration, I am going to focus just on the chorus. So I'm going to play, the keyboard, and then I want the chorus to come in and I want him to sing the chorus. So I'm going to forward this up until where the chorus starts. And this is the behind the scenes thing, right? Nobody normally sees this part. Everyone sees just the final product. But this is what we do behind the scenes. There we go. So I want right there. You can see the spike right there, right? So I'm gonna cut this guy right about here. Let's see. Make sure I get it correct. That's what she said, right? So right there on the downbeat. Okay, and you gotta get it just right. Sometimes you may have to go a little bit before. There we go. To get the whole thing, right? And remember, these guys were playing this song live. So I'm gonna get from here. So I'm gonna cut all of this off, right? Delete that. So it's gonna start over there. Now the BPM of this is 110. So I want this to be displayed in BPMs, right? So I'm gonna go here to my software, go into edit, right there at the corner. And I'm gonna go to preference and time display. And I want this to be displayed in, yes, that's correct, bars and beats. And I want to set the BPM of the song, which is 110 from what we calculated. In that way, all these here are the different beats per minute, right? So we have the starting point. Don't bother coming home. It continues. I'm going to expand this again so I can keep on seeing. I'm getting to my cut point. There we go. And right there before that is where it goes do-do-dum, before the next beat, do-do-dum, right there. So we want to grab that, right? Do-do-dum. And everything after that is trash as far as we are concerned. So I'm going to go over there and delete that. So my loop is going to be from here, from this starting point all the way here to the end, right there. Okay, so this is it. If you look at the number of bars, you're looking at what? 23, right? So let me rewind it, and you have to make sure, right? You just have to make sure. And if you look at the bottom of your software where it's counting, okay, this is going to be a very useful tool right there. So this is going to coincide with my counter on the keyboard, right? So if I did this correctly and I cut this correctly, here, listen to that. 1, 2, 3. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6. And that's what you use to determine if you have it, you done it accurately or not. And you might have to stretch the wave. So sometimes you're gonna see where the magic is. I might have to stretch the wave a little bit or compress it just to make sure it fits into the total number of bars just right. Now, this is a live performance, so I don't care really what happens in here for the most part, right? So long as it starts at the right measure and ends over here at the right measure. It could speed up or slow down in here, it doesn't matter. I don't care about what's here. But so, let's go ahead. So I think we got a perfect wave, okay? Looking at the metronome and looking at the count. Again, this is for demonstration purposes. I might have to tweak it a little bit, but let's keep the camera short. So this is what you do for the most part. And I can enhance this right now because I want the vocals to pop in this, right? So I'm gonna go in here, highlight this whole wave and go into my effects right now. And when I go into my EQ, because I don't want to hear that music. I want to play the music on the keyboard, right? So I want to get the vocals here to pop for the most part. I'm going to go into my EQ over here, right? And I'm going to go into my graphic EQ. 20 bands should be fine, and that pops up here. But I want to put this here somewhere. How about that? All right, now I'm going to play this, and while this is playing, I'm going to enhance the vocals, which is up here. And I'm going to bring down the drums and the kick. I'm going to bring down the lower end. Okay. As a matter of fact, I'm better off using a larger EQ. 20 bands will not cut it because there's so much going on there. And I'm going to remove a lot of the vocals. So I'm going to go in here. And I'm going to go to, let me see, effects. That EQ is over here, and I'm going to go to 30 bands, all right? Yes, I can play around with this better. Okay, now this is where you start messing around with things and getting to the point where you get it accurate. So I'm going to zero this out for the most part, and we'll start playing with it from here. So let me listen to the track right now. Let's highlight that. And as it's playing, you're going to be, take out the kick and all the lows are all going to be down this way. So I'm bringing everything down. I want just the vocals. And now, okay, I got vocals here at about 125K. So I'm going to start. And over here, the high end, take out that cymbal, take out. And enhance. Sometimes, especially, no, most of the time, okay, this is a trick when you're doing sound and audio. People always think if you're missing something, add. No, I work in the reverse. If you're missing something, take out the garbage that's already there, okay? So if you have an EQ like this, I could have gone in there and just boosted this, right? And take it, that's what I need. I need more of this over here, more of the mids and lower mid, right? But rather than boost this and still have to deal with this garbage over here and this, the best thing to do is to take out what you don't want, right? And this also applies for live sound. So I'm just giving you guys some background stuff here. Those who are not too versed that with sound, but this is what happens behind the scenes. And I think that the purpose of making this video is also to give people a taste of what happens. Because sometimes you just see the final product and you just, you know, enjoy it, but you don't know what's happening behind the scenes to make it work. So this is what I'm doing. Sounds a little bit muffled. I'm gonna have to bring that up a little bit. And I'm gonna do some more magic here. I think I took out too much. So this is how it sounds like without the EQ. Turn off the EQ. That's the track. Okay, so now, of course, the best thing to do is to get a clean audio, right? A clean audio of just a vocal track. That's the best thing to do. In the absence of that, this will do for now for the sake of this demonstration. So you just keep playing around with it until it sounds right. Okay, now it's beginning to pull in some of the bass. I'm going, most male voices are down here, right? So as you start to go into this section, I'm beginning to get some of the bass guitar coming in as well, and the kick drum, which I don't want. I want to rely on those from my keyboard, right? So now I can boost the mids a little bit. Okay, nothing much there. I want to try and keep the curve smooth, but at the same time, clean. Okay, let's keep the video short. We're already at 12 minutes and we're just still doing editing of stuff. So I'm going to apply this and see how it sounds. All right. Okay, I'm going to keep it that way as it is for now. The next trick I have up my hat is to go into effects. I'm going to go to special. This is where I do my mastering. This is very important. Okay, so now this is where I'm going to actually enhance the vocal, and sometimes the presets are good. That's what it sounds like without any mastering. You hear the difference? Even the levels, okay? And this is how it sounds like with the mastering. So when you master it, that's where you really make it pop, right? And now if you notice, if you look at the screen, we started off and we were at about -6 dB. With the mastering, we're now at about -3. You don't want to go above that. Yes, you can peak a little bit, like a little bit, on some areas it's okay. But you want most of your signal to really, before you master, you want to stay within -9, and then after you master at about -3, just to give you some more headroom if you have to tweak anything, right? So that's what it looks like, and I can see my energy levels down here at the bottom as well, which are safe, not too much red, okay? So my audio file is pretty much 80% done, but I'm just going to keep it like this for now. Of course, we do a lot more, but this is just to give you an idea of how you prepare the audio. First of all, you have to, of course, extract it from the source. You cut it, and then you EQ it. And now it's ready for us to use in the keyboard. So we're going to show you in the next scene how we now bring that into the keyboard. But this is how you prepare the audio file. The same thing for the drums. If you're using audio drums, it's the same procedure, the same process, and then you just cut it and then you name it accordingly as described in the manual. So for this one, I'm just going to call this one country.wave. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. I'm going to go here to File and save as. Now this is George Strait. I can still make Cayenne. I'm just going to call this Country Wave. You know what? Hold on. Let's see. I can still make Cayenne. Let's just make this. Yeah, I'm just going to call I can still make Cayenne. That's fine. That way I can keep an eye of where it is in my keyboard, right? I can still make Cayenne vocal. Now, you have to save it as a WAV file. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to change this format from MP3 to a WAV. It has to be a stereo and you have to do this at 44 100 is your sampling rate, and your bit depth should be no more than 16. Okay. Do, sorry about that. Include markers? No, I don't want to include markers. Click on OK, and that's done. So now I can get out of here. I can go and listen to the actual wave file because I just created that right now, which is here. I can still make Cheyenne.wave. Okay, if I click on that and open that up, it should now play. See? Okay, now you're gonna copy this onto, you can either plug your keyboard with directly into your computer, or you can get one of these little guys. You remember these guys? USB stick. Put that in your computer, plug it in, copy this file to the USB stick, and then copy that into your keyboard. So I'm gonna continue with the video from that point. Now remember before I said there were a couple of ways we could do this, right? So we can either associate the audio with the launchpad or with the style. So let's approach the style. To do that, I want to show you the format, okay? And let's look at the factory styles and see what we did, right, to give you an idea. So I'm gonna look at this style here called Pop, right? So you see that folder, Pop 104. So the style name is Pop and underscore 104. That's the tempo. That's the BPM of the content of the wave files I'm going to use. So when we create a style, the format that we use at Ketron is we have a folder with the BPM outside, and when you go in that folder, you have the various wave files that are affiliated or associated with the arranger buttons. That is the arranger A, B, C, D, fill in 1, 2, 3, 4, break 1, 2, 3, 4, intro, ending 1, 2, and 3. So technically speaking, you can associate or affiliate 24 audio files with a style. Why do I say 24? Again, arranger A has its audio, arranger B has its audio. This is a format for live drums, and we're going to borrow this for this demonstration, right? Now you notice in this particular case we have arranger A1 and A2, and that's because, like we said before in one of our previous videos, you can actually have 8 variations in Ketron. All right, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And how do you get to the E, F, G, H? So in arranger A, arranger A underscore 1 will be the first time you press the arranger A button, and arranger A underscore 2 will be activated if you press arranger A the second time. So if you play this style on your keyboard right now, this pop style, right, and you're gonna see it's gonna have A1 and A2. That's how you know it has 8 variations or 8 different arranger parts. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. So this is the format that we want to use, arranger A, B, C, and D. So this file, I want to affiliate this, the one we just did right now. I'm gonna go into my USB stick on my computer over here, go to my USB stick, which I'm about to go into. Where is that stick at? Right here, SD9. And we called it, I can still make Cheyenne 110. So really what I want to do is I want to make, again, you want to copy what you did over here, right? I want to make a folder, okay? I'm going to come here and make a folder called I can still make. I'm just going to call this Cheyenne for the sake of keeping it short and simple, right? So C H Y E N, Cheyenne, space, and the tempo 110. Now for those of you who have the audio, the difference is that before we used to name the actual wave file with the BPM value. So it would have been A at 110.wave, but this time we put all the wave files in a folder, so it makes it easier to search. And I'm going to drag I can still make Cheyenne into that folder. All right, so right now I want to take this entire folder and put in my keyboard. All right, this is Cheyenne 110. And normally if I go in here, I would have had Oh, sorry, I have to change its name, okay? So now we want to affiliate this to Arranger D in my case. So following the format that I had over here, which is, all this is in the manual, by the way. Arranger D is what I want to do. I want to call this, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to call this ARR D. I'm not using D1, D2 because I just want this to be activated only when I press Arranger D, the first the first D variation, if that makes sense. And we're going to discuss this more in detail in another video, but this is just what we did. So if I double click on this right now, so you're not lost, this is our fixed and adjusted audio, okay? And we have put that on a USB stick. We've put that in a folder called Cheyenne 110. And that's going to be the audio drum that we're going to use for our style. So let's head over now to the keyboard. So we now have the audio file of the Cheyenne song on the USB stick, and we've put that over here at the corner. Let's go over and look at what we do next. So we have the audio file in the USB stick. Remember, we spoke about that folder, right? We went in and we copied the folder from the USB stick into our Ketron machine. And specifically where we copied it into, if I show you the screen real quick, we went into the folder here, which is called User Modeling. You go in there and you go into the live drum folder. And if you look at all these other live drums I have right now, we're going to look and see if we can find our Cheyenne 110 is right there. So you can either use a space 110 or an underscore 110, it's still fine. Okay? So that is where the audio drum is. And if you go in, we have Arranger D. So if you look at the panel, that means that over here on the machine, the wave or the audio file is going to be associated with this Arranger D right here. Okay? If you use ARRA, Arranger A is going to be associated with the first button. So in that folder is where you have all the different audios which are going to be affiliated or associated with these buttons over here. A, B, C, D, fill in, fill 1, 2, 3, 4, break 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, you have 4 fills and 4 breaks. And where are they? When you come over to the bottom of your screen here, if you go page 1 of 3. This is displaying page 1 of 3 on the bottom right here. If I hit this, I'm going to be on page 2 of 3. And here, voila, fill 1, fill 2, fill 3, fill 4. Break 1, break 2, break 3, break 4. These can all have their different audio elements as well, okay? And so on and so forth. Fill to arrange, these are different functions affiliated with the arranger, okay? Let's go back to page 1. So now, how do we associate physically on the keyboard the audio file we just did with the style? So I'm going to go into our Cayenne country, which is our new country style, okay? And make sure that is loaded in. And I'm going to go to live modeling. This is one of the ways of doing it, right? So I'm going to go into the live modeling folder. And this gives you your style broken into this different parts, different pads, right? So again, what is this? If I go into view, it's the same thing we have over here in view, just arranged differently. The live drum, the volume of the drums, and the chord 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, the different chords of the arranger, and the live guitar here. These are the same things that are displayed here in the live modeling, just displayed differently, okay? So that's my live drum. That's my live drum kit, my individual samples that are triggered by MIDI. This is my live audio drum, okay? That's my groove. This is my bass, chord 1, chord 2, chord 3, chord 4, and chord 5, okay? And these are my 2 lowers, right? We said before, lower 1 and lower 2. That's my live guitar over there. So what I want to do is I want to, in this particular style, arranger A, B, C, D, I want to have these linked up to my audio drum. Remember what we said before. So I'm going to touch and hold the live drum for 2 seconds, and it takes me here. Now, these first set of drums are the factory audio drums. Remember I showed you these on my computer, right? These are the factory audio drums. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom until I get done with the factory, and I'm going to start with mine, which are the user audio drums, what I put into the machine, okay? So if you have the AjamSonic upgrade, you probably have a lot of these already. Let's go to the screen so you can see exactly what we're seeing right there. So if you have the AjamSonic, you probably start off here. These are all the AjamSonic live drums, depending on what kit you have and depending on what package you have as well. So come down here. These are all going to be yours. And you can see there it says live, 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 right? Now we're going to look for C, Cheyenne, right there, 110. That's ours. So I'm going to select this. You get the beep, right? So right now, our live drum kit has been affiliated with this. So if I go to arranger A, B, C, or D, if I had live drums in that folder, arranger A, arranger B, arranger C, arranger D, they're all going to be active. But in this case, instead of a live drum, we have a live wave vocal track, right? So how's it going to sound? So if I go to arranger A, okay, and I'm going to play the song again, right, so you can hear and see what I'm doing here. Let's go back to this view. Hopefully the audio should come in. Here we go.
She said, don't bother coming home. By the time you get here, I'll be long gone. There's somebody new and he sure ain't no rodeo man.
That's the audio clear with my style.
He said, I'm sorry it's come down to this. There's so much about you that I'm gonna miss. But it's alright, babe.
Turn it off.
Still make shine.
That's my audio right there.
Gotta go now, baby. If I hurry, I can still make shine.
Let's go to my ending. And that really is one of the ways in which you incorporate the audio into the style, right? Now, the miracle about this, okay, is that once I do this, I'm no longer compelled to play at that particular tempo, right? So guess what? I could have decided to say, hey, listen, I want to actually play this a little bit faster, okay? I'm going to go into variation B, okay? Speed it up. So you can see
there's somebody
all this
and he sure ain't no
with the style. In real time, I can slow it down.
He said, I'm sorry it's come down to this. There's so much about you that I'm gonna miss. But it's alright, baby. If I hurry, I can still make shine. Gotta go now, baby. If I hurry, I can still make shine.
So this is the power indeed of the Ketron SD9 and also the audio series. Those two have this capability thanks to the audio MIDI merge functionality. Now, that was just one way of doing that, right, when we use the style. Another way could be to use the launchpad, which is pretty, very easy, right? So in this case, I have the Cheyenne style here. What I do is I'm playing that. As it plays, I'm going to go back to the original tempo. We had it at 110. I'm going to hit the launchpad, and I'm going to port all this into the launchpad and hit yes. Exporting into the launchpad, yeah. So right now, I have the style in here, the launchpad, okay? And then the audio followed through, right? So you see?
Said don't bother coming home. By the time you get here, I'll be.
So now, again, I can do a lot more here with it in the Launchpad. For an example, I can now, work with transposition. I can now adjust the volume of the independent or the individual parts of the pad, which is your different sections of the arranger. So there are many ways to skin a cat. This is, but obviously with the style, I mean, this is just perfect because you have control at your fingertips as you are performing. So, ciao. Have a nice weekend, and we shall, again, don't forget to subscribe on the bottom to this channel if you want to get more tips and more stuff, especially when we are on live, because now it's not possible to alert everyone every single time we come live. Sometimes we have an idea, sometimes we get a request, and we just come live. So if you want to get more of these videos, subscribe to our channel below, okay? And have a beautiful weekend, and enjoy the rest of the month. Thank you.